In the meantime, let's go over a few things you missed, or I missed while I wasn't YouTubing or playing or doing anything. So, let's just get on with it. Noticed a few things that weren't discovered until after I was gone. And firstly, there's an addition, a newly discovered thing, and it has to have been in one of the recent patches because I have stood in front of this thing for hours on end. If you rock up at pretty much any time I've been able to trigger this, the main alpha statue for FF06B5, and you stare at the screen in the front that has the article about Meatman. Do not touch a mouse or keyboard during this time. Give it about 15 minutes to an hour. If it doesn't load within an hour of game time, save or travel away and come back and reload and just wait for this to pop up. And look, it's a 6-fingered hand that glows the magenta color or the hot pink, and it has like rays of light coming out from it. And the cube, which is the cube we see in the end video and the one we see on the wall here, is rotating a set number of times. Now, if you're not familiar with FF06B5, it was believed to be quote-unquote solved, or at least the end reward was obtained, but still, to this day, as far as I'm concerned, nobody knows what the FF, the 06 or the B5 actually stand for. I mean, outside of the people who had a hand in the making of this Easter egg, or asset reference, which was turned into an Easter egg, whatever the case may be. So, is this a clue that will help lead us closer to actually solving that? Or is it just something that was missed, an additional bit of media? For me, looking at those 6 fingers with a box underneath them leads me to believe that the 6 legs of this statue are actually an upturned hand holding a box. And if you look at the one in the apartment, it feels like a keepsake box where you would lift the top bit off and those fingers grip the lid into place. Do you get me, right? So maybe there is something inside this statue. Who knows? But either way, it's raised more questions rather than answering any. Another thing that came up was this. This is a secret on top of Tom's Diner. There's a set of binoculars here which were added in a recent patch. And if you look at the Red Bird, which is the CD Projekt Red Bird, I believe it's a cardinal, and you look at that on the wall, give it a second or two, and bang, you get a picture of the dev team. I love those kind of Easter eggs. I think they're great fun. It seems like, and this is a Cyberpunk Edgerunners spoiler, so click through to the next timestamp if you don't want to hear this one, but okay, they're gone. Good, perfect. Kiwi's death location has been found. I saw this in a GamePunk video. If you look here, the scene of the anime, she's at this Bucket Slice restaurant, which looks like it's in Orion. You can see the kind of background scenery there. And if we look in game, this is that exact same Bucket Slice location. Well spotted, GamePunk. And if you look at the side of the dumpster here, you can see the same remnants of her last few minutes. Pretty rough, but what's interesting to me, and I'd probably have to load up 1.0 version of the game, is whether or not this was in there before the anime or was it added after the anime. And I'm going to check that. And I did check that. And it was indeed added afterwards. Kind of a grim job for whoever had to do it. But yeah, a nice bit of continuity and meshing of the lores and making sure everything ties in. What's also cool is if you got the medal from Myers, you can give it to this veteran here.
Here, take it.
Sure. Looks like it's worth, well, a ton.
Meh, not worth a damn to me anymore. Do what you will with it.
There's also a new Columbarium edition which I missed, and it's this microphone here. Basically, this is a tribute to the voice actor that played Vic Vector in the Polish version of the game, which you might call the original version, I suppose, considering it's made by Polish devs, who passed away before Phantom Liberty was made. Interestingly enough, they actually used AI to do his voice in Phantom Liberty. I'd be interested to know, anyone who's played the Polish version, how did the AI stack up versus the original voice actor? Regardless, I think the tribute in the Columbarium is a nice touch. Now, I think this little container is very cool. I may have mentioned this one before, but it was probably before Christmas, and forgive me if I have gone senile. There's a party that roams around Night City in a few different locations. There is a shard just here which details where they are, and you can go and check those areas out too. Now, you have to come here during the night because obviously parties only happen at nighttime. I think it's after 1 a.m. and the party should be in full flow. And if you go up the crane arm here and go to this container with "Where's Johnny" written on the side, you'll see there's a party going on in there. while you're in there's quite a few interesting tidbits you should have a look at. One, the fact that the O that was missing from this Orion sign, which you can find at this location in Dogtown, is actually in this building, so these are the people that stole it, and the messages on the laptop confirm that this is that O that was stolen. But the fact that the new game is codenamed Project Orion kind of leads me to believe that there's more to this. The information in this could be connected to the next game, and FF06B5 could be connected. There's also a flamingo next to the O, and the flamingos do feature heavily throughout the game, even in the Silence of the Lambs Easter egg. But this is the most important thing, and it's easily missed. You can see the game case for Arasaka Tower 3D on the table just here, next to a pile of cash. It's easy to miss because someone is usually sitting over it, and if you've followed my previous videos and all the other people's videos on FF06B5, you'll see that this features prominently in the story of getting to that end solution. But what's more, just like anytime you're taking notes of how to actually beat something, you can find the steps for getting through Arasaka 3D and getting through to the secret at the end. Just on the floor here, 283S being 283 seconds, the amount of time you have to wait in the second room with a code. All in all, a pretty cool Easter egg, I think. I think it might have been Sam Bram that originally spotted this one. Not sure though. I've often wondered, seeing that Keanu's character is an undercover agent, maybe considered a bit of a snake, is this surfboard a nod to his role in Point Break? I know, I'm reaching. Another potential movie reference, or at least just an iconic cultural reference, is the red Converse with the laces tied hanging over a wire from movies like Lost Boys, or basically something you might see in certain neighborhoods. There is another party you can find, and that is the Growl FM Party. Growl FM being the station that was added recently with all the fan-made music, and it can be found here. If you travel there in the nighttime after 12, 1 o'clock, something like that, you will be able to hang out. What's extra special here, Johnny sits and he listens along with you, but what's really cool is on the radio you can select the different tracks to listen to, and it comes up with their name and title and the album cover, and you can see all the vinyls with the album covers for the different songs, and you can actually vote on your favorite one as well, which is pretty nifty. And there is lore dotted around the place attributed to these bands, so they've been given a real place inside the city, which I think is fantastic. This lore is not just made up, it actually incorporates real life information about these bands and immortalizes it in Night City, which is actually really cool. It's the kind of amazing stuff CDPR just love to do, just to show their gratitude and really show how much they care about a community, despite what people in my comments still say to this day. You'll notice this lady here, it's Rita Wheeler, she's the bouncer at the Mox Bar Lizzie's. So yeah, it's pretty dope. There was also this little thing too. You just hover over this part of the menu for 4 seconds, you get this little 2077 come up, which is kind of cute. This was discovered by someone on Twitter. I can't find the post now because it was like 6 months ago. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And just because it might be, was this All Foods food person inspired by Joey from Friends?